MusicRadio77.com.
Down payment. That's Ron Lundy. Good morning from CBS-FM 101.1. I have a friend of mine on the telephone. I must tell y'all something real quick. Gary, how you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Hey, listen, let me just tell this story real quick. First, Gary, may go back to 1961, I guess, out in St. Louis. Gary came up from Florida on the radio, and Gary, I don't think, was about 20 years old. I know he was just out of college. But anyway, Gary, it's so good for you to call in, okay? But I want to tell everybody one thing at how I got the job over at ABC. And I've been trying to come to New York, since I was about 3 years old, and I wanted to get up here, but it just wasn't any opening. So I was out at WIL in St. Louis, and it was one Friday afternoon. I get this call from Gary Stevens, who was at WMCA. He was doing the disc jockey. I used to call it the Teeny Bopper show, and you did a good job, by the way. We all remember you on the radio, Gary.
Oh, you're terrific.
Yeah, well, we do, and that's why we like you up here on Old Timers Day on the Rock and Roll Radio Greats thing.
I'm not as old as you.
I know, nobody is. But anyway, Gary calls me, and this is out in St. Louis, and I was on the radio, and he said, Ron, something has happened over at WABC, and I says, what? He said, I think Bob Dayton has left. Now, Bob and me worked together in St. Louis, too, along with Gary. We were all out there together, and Dan Ingram and all of us at the same time, really. But he called in, so he said, get a call in to Rick Sklar right now. And I said, whoops, it's gone. Now, see, I'd send in about, 20 audition tapes a day anyway and talking to him. But I got in and just happened to get him in his office before he was going out to lunch. And he said, well, can you fly in Monday? I said, I can be there tonight. And Gary, I'll never forget that, that it was such a good shot, and timing is everything in this business. And my friend, that's where I got the timing from to get to New York, was from you. And of course, Dan had been, programming for me for years anyway here, but you got me on the thing, and I'll never forget that, Gary.
And I'm still waiting for my commission.
And you're never going to get one, Gary. Listen, you and Herb Oscar have got all the money south of the Mason-Dixon line, and now you're coming up here getting it all,
Joe told me I get paid for this morning.
Well, you do. Did you sell any radio stations today?
I'm down in New Orleans, actually.
Oh, are you?
Not far from where you're going, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing down there?
Well, it's the big radio convention. There's 50,000 radio people here.
Yeah, well, golly, I wish I was there, but I know it's very hot down there, and where I'm going, it's going to be hot, too.
Well, I was in the lobby of the hotel this morning, and I ran into Mel Karmazin, who's chairman of CBS Radio.
Yeah.
And he told me that he's going to ask that they have a moment of silence at midday in honor of your retirement.
Oh, God.
I pressed him on that. I found out the real reason is because it's all the money they're going to save.
Oh. I was sort of hoping, Gary, that Mel would be here, Darn it. Well, listen. Oh, say hello to Don K. Reed. Don, I know you're a big fan of his here at CBS-FM.
Gary, how are you?
Morning, how are you?
Okay, I got one question for you.
What's that?
Where's the Willy Burger these days?
We ain't going to tell a story about that, are we, Gary?
No, it's funny. I have an email system, and I was checking it this morning, and some guy got a hold of my email address, and that was on there. The Burger sent him back an email, said he's in Florida, retired.
Oh, Lord. And that's a good place for the Willy Burger, I tell you.
Good place for all of us. Where are you going now? You going to ride your tractor on the farm?
Well, I got one of Herb Oscar Anderson's old tractors, and I'm going to get it down there and run that son of a gun. Got my little television on it, and I've got my antenna going up to the stars so I can listen to CBS-FM, because I never know what Joe McCoy is going to sneak in here and do about me. He's going to say bad things or something. So I have to. Not that I'm paranoid. I wouldn't be so paranoid if everybody went out to get me. You know that.
Oh, Ronnie, you're the best.
Thank you.
We're going to miss you. I go over I live up in Connecticut.
Yeah, I know.
I run over to the post office every so often in the morning to get stuff, and they have you on up there every morning.
Where is this now?
It's in New Canaan.
In New Canaan? Oh, I know New Canaan well. We almost bought a house up there a long time ago. Yeah, I love New Canaan.
I'm going to miss you.
I love Connecticut. Love you, Gary.
Hey, you're the best. All the best to you.
You too, and have a great time down in New Orleans. And listen, drop me a line, okay? You can get the address from Joe Bob.
I'll do it.
Okay. Hey, bless your heart. Tell Mel I said hello.
I will.
Okay. Bye-bye, Gary.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
I heard you were going to ride the rocking chair on the front porch. Never mind tractors.
That's where I'll probably be for the first 2 years. Then I'll venture out. Thank you very much. Bye, Gary.
101 weather.
Hi-ho, weather watchers. Always on time. That's what got me here. Good timing. Becoming sunny. Highs today near 80. Right now it's 73 degrees at CBS-FM 101.1.
CBS-FM. CBS-FM.
Don't get near the lion. Tokens on CBS-FM 101.1. This is Ron Lundy. Good morning.
If everybody had an everybody serving USA.
Everybody. Well, not everybody.
Serving USA.
Don K. Reed and Engineer Barry and Maria and Chris and Debbie Ferrucci are all here. The real people. It's 5 minutes now before 10 o'clock. Good morning. This is Ron Lundy. On this Thursday morning, the CBS-FM September Oldies Update is available, featuring this month in rock and roll. And me, Ronnie. Me. Yes. And cousin. And CBS-FM's 25th anniversary photo flashback. My dear cousin, you'll find information on how to enter to win tickets to the Newport Center Mall for Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Broadway's classical music. What have you got there, Don?
Oh, we're going to break out the cake. Yeah, John Fitzgerald Klein sent to you from the Bronx.
Well, John, thank you very much. All I can say, John, is thank you, and yum.
Saturday at the Manhattan Mall.
Ron Lundy. Flashback. 1969.
WABC Chime Time is 12:15. This is Ron Lundy with the top music in town. Radio WABC. That was number 25 for the year with the Brooklyn Bridge. The worst that could happen. Every day of my life I want to thank you, girl. 4 minutes past 12. WABC Chime Time with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Number 23 for the year. You made me so very happy.
WABC Top 169.
46. Junior Walker and the All-Stars, and what does it take to win your love?
Ron Lundy. 101.
Well, for the last time, for a while anyway.
You're late again, you fat idiot.
Well, no, it's just a couple of minutes past 10.
You're always late and you talk about your good timing, you fool.
Thank you very much. Hello, love. It's 10:02 in the city. That's Ron Lundy, and I love you. Call me, baby. Yeah, promises. That's all I ever get, man, is promises. No action, just promises. The Marvelettes on CBS-FM. Good morning, everybody. Thursday morning in New York City. This is Ron Lundy, my Saturday morning, and I might add, best-dressed newsman in New York.
Well, thank you, Ron.
Well, you didn't let me introduce you, Mr.
Okay,
G.
sorry.
You know, I mean, Harry never... Go ahead and just introduce yourself.
They told me that I have to...
Tony Warren, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad somebody mentioned my name. They told me I have to be very quick, so I'm going to say, we're going to miss you, Ron. Goodbye.
Thank you. I love brevity. Thank you very much. That's probably the best thing you've done since I've known you, Tony. Bless your heart. Thank you for dropping by. Appreciate it.
I know it's late.
Well, you know I love it. Song Joe McCoy wrote many, many years ago when Joe was on the street, you know, with just his little guitar and his little handout. That's a good song, man. I shouldn't say things about Joe McCoy. Now, Chuck, you stop now.
I just was in the neighborhood.
Well, I figured you might be. Chuck Leonard, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wow, and you are retiring.
So be it.
Yeah, I didn't exactly understand at first. They said that Ron is going to be retired. At first I thought they said retarded, and I understood that part.
Oh, some of us never
Wild,
change,
man.
do we, huh?
I've just known you too long. That's all.
This is true.
But I heard your life story, by the way. I was listening when you first came on. I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah.
And you've been in radio a long time.
Oh, Chuck, I've been. What did you?
I mean, I've been in radio a long time, but you've been here longer than baseball.
You told me. I heard you say that once. That's one of the funniest lines I've ever heard in my life. Somebody asked Chuck. I don't know. It's probably from Channel 7, I guess. Somebody asked Chuck, say, "How long have you been in radio, Chuck?" And Chuck said, 2 years before baseball. He just walked right, kept right on walking, man. Great.
But
it's been good to us, Chuck.
Yeah,
it really has.
It
man.
has.
I tell you, I look back. I got no complaints. I got no complaints, and I know you don't either. Bless your heart.
It's just, I've just known you so long.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through 3 wives, 5 radio stations.
Yeah. Hey, and you
had
know,
a couple of kids, but it's just one you, man.
You know, I've got the same wife, Shirley, bless her heart.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, and you know what? I wanted to bring a fan.
Yeah.
Now, only you would understand.
I know. I've got to tell this story about one time, okay? I've got to tell one. I've got thousands of them. Well, I tell you, I could put 2 chapters in my book about Chuck and me, but I've got to tell you about a friend of Chuck Leonard's one time. I'm coming through the toll gates on the George Washington Bridge. And it was in the morning, early, and I was sort of half asleep. And I'm standing there with my little coupon, I just holding it out. And all of a sudden, I felt somebody taking the ring off my finger. And I look around, it was one of Chuck's friends, and I knew her too, and there she is. She's taking those tolls, man, in my ring. And
I know who she was. I haven't seen her in about 15 years. Her name was Janessa.
Yes, and she was just the sweetest young lady, Chuck. She really was. I never forgot that. That's one of the funniest things ever happened to me. Just hold my ticket out, and she just took my ring right off my finger.
I would have gotten to know her better, actually, but my wife at that time wouldn't have understood.
No, they never do, Chuck. Shame on them.
Hey, man, you're going down. You're really going to do it. You're going down to the Bigfoot country.
I'm going down
do the whole thing.
just south of Oxford, down to the university. I might teach a course. Not in broadcasting, but something that I know a lot about, electricity.
Okay.
I might,
one of these days,
space travel.
I'm going to do this one of these days because I've got a place. Of course, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm going up to Michigan, but one of these days I'm going to do that.
Well, Chuck, you're from Chicago.
I am.
Yeah. And so is Harry. Harry Harrison's from Chicago.
I saw Harry on the way in.
Yeah. And
hanging in there.
well, Bruce and Dan.
Good morning, Harry.
Good morning. I was talking to Gary Stevens a few minutes ago. Gary's down in New Orleans at the Broadcasters Convention or some kind of nonsense.
Well, Gary's rich now. He is.
He is. But anyway, he called up. Bless his heart. And I can just think about all the guys that we've known and all the guys we've worked. Chuck, you and me have been to the best radio stations in the world.
Yeah.
And doggone it, we've worked with the best people in the world.
That's right. And you're one of them.
Thank you.
That's why I really had to come down. I worked all night last night because I do a show at night. I worked all night, but I stayed awake.
You're on the. See, they've changed the call letter so much, I don't know anymore.
Well, I worked all night last night on WQEW. I have 2 jobs, actually.
I knew that's where you were. I just couldn't think of it.
On weekends, I'm on WBLS. I mean, I just stay busy. I wish I could retire. I can't. I got a daughter in college, man, and one in high school.
We got a lot of friends in this business, Chuck. You keep getting these jobs, man.
Hey, man, what can I tell you?
Bless your heart. Okay. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming by. We may not see each other, but every 2 or 3 years or something. But once we say hi, it's like that we've just been talking 5 minutes ago. Yeah,
and it's been wonderful. And I'm going to leave you to your accolades and all of it. You deserve it. You really do. You're one heck of a guy.
Thank you, Chuck.
And if anybody out there doesn't know it, the Ron Lundy off the microphone is as warm and is nice. In fact, nicer than the one you hear on the air because he's not under any pressure. He doesn't have to worry about what Joe McCoy.
Well, I never. Joe is the one program director I never worried about in my life.
He's nice, man.
He's the best I ever.
That's why I'm teasing him.
Well, I
you never know
all the time, but
one of my 2 radio stations may fire me. I might have to come look for you.
Well, listen, just come and see Joe. Bless his heart. He just. Yeah, he probably would. Okay.
Hey, man, you have a great retirement. Don't think you're getting away from me because I'm going to, I'll find you online. You got a computer?
No, I ain't got a computer.
We'll have to get you
My
one.
5-year-old granddaughter says I must get one. No,
because you're all over the internet, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're all over the internet. They got special pages with your picture and your voice and everything on it. It's nice.
Well, bless your heart. Thank you.
Okay, take care,
And thank
buddy.
you so much for coming by.
Hey.
And I wish you'd get a little sleep, you know.
I'm going to do
we're not as
exactly
young
that.
as we were 31 years ago.
Don't even begin that.
32
You know,
years
Ron,
ago.
look, you don't get old.
Yeah,
All
but you were
You
just-
only get older. You start doing that
Numbers.
when you were born.
Age,
You don't get old.
Age, Chuck, age is numbers. It don't mean nothing. You know, but, I mean, see, people don't realize that you were 9 years old. When
Well,
you came
just a
here.
little
Really?
older, actually. But I had only been in radio 1 year when I met you.
I know.
And I didn't realize you'd been around that long.
Oh, yeah, I've been around
Hey.
since, the beginning of time.
I'm glad I know you, though.
Hey, thank you for coming by. Chuck
What-
Leonard, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I do this?
Yes.
On the Ron Lundy Show?
Yeah.
At CBS 101, there's going to be some Elvis Presley. The man from Tupelo.
Oh, yeah.
Near where Ron is going.
All right.
Don't be cruel.
You know I can be found till you are picking up.
Mr. Lundy?
Yes.
We are from the program department. We have been listening to this program. We have several complaints. You will be at a distracting meeting on Monday.
Oh, please.
All this talking, we're supposed to play music here, and you will segue, do you understand?
No, please.
You stepped on the vocal of Ruby and the Romantics.
I know.
You have not been
I
cleared.
do apologize.
You do not have clearance to step on vocals.
I'm very
we will not
sorry.
have this nonsense. And you called Lenny Coco a rascal. He was not a rascal. You're thinking of Vinnie Boombat. He was a rascal.
I'm sorry.
It's a different person all entirely. And you also...
Where are you now that I need you?
You also had animals in the studio. We are told you had a donkey in the studio. You're not allowed to do that, and you will be at the meeting Monday at 5 a.m., okay? You understand that? And there'll be no no's about it, you understand? Retirement means nothing. You will be at meetings for the rest of your life.
But we're supposed to get a plane.
You may have the plane, but get another one coming back.
I can't make the meeting Monday. I don't care what you tell me.
You will have to be here, or we will come to that place in Tuscaloosa, or wherever it is, and loosen your tusk.
Help me.
Here, help.
1, 2, 3.
Huh?
Look at Mr. Lee.
They're holding me against my will.
4, 5. Look at him, Mr. Lee.
Dan Ingram told me one time.
He did?
That Mr. Lee. No. It wasn't the Bobettes. Who was it that you told me they were all men, and I believed you they was doing? What was it?
The Teen Queens.
The Teen Queens, right. Dan told me, he said they were all men, and I said, really? I said, but they sound like girls. No, they're all women. Well, I believe that for 10 years. I believe that.
Well, they all sing facing the same direction. Think about
Okay.
it.
Oh, my best friend in the whole world, Dan Ingram, you son of a gun. You.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, there's like festoons of mold and dust and things out there. They must have been really gone in the vault to get things out for you.
I came in yesterday, and they had balloons all over the building downstairs and all out on 6th Avenue and 52nd and 53rd. And I said, hey, you the guys didn't do this for me. Of course, it wasn't for me. It was for the, it was for the...
What's his name?
For the movies, for the television. That's the word I'm looking
yes,
for.
that's remember
right.
them.
Yeah, I do.
They have a new movie out. It's called Titanic: The Autobiography.
Cousin Brucey, I ain't getting into this with you. Cousin Brucey was out emceeing yesterday with Mark McEwen.
I know Mark for years.
Yeah.
We did a pilot for HBO, which never sold.
Yeah.
Mark stole all my material during the pilot. It's true.
Well, yeah, but Dan, you see, he has to get up early in the morning now to go to work.
Does he? I thought he just stayed up late.
No, all you have to do now is just get up at the crack of noon. And then, you're...
Anything before noon is obscene. Man.
Absolutely. I always said that, too. But
I'm going to have to make a novena after coming in there this early,
Oh, God. You know what we're going to have to do at the luncheon today?
I don't know. Eat food, I hope. I'm starving. I haven't had any breakfast, a glass of warm water, and a promise.
We have one. I can't go on.
Hi, this is Mr. Music Norman. I'd invite
men and women of the AFL-CIO.
101 weather.
Well, let's see. Becoming sunny. Well, they're kidding us again, Dan. Mr. G is working overtime. Becoming sunny. High is near 80 today. Right now it's 73 degrees.
You're near 80, aren't you, Ron?
Yes, close.
Right.
As a matter of fact, just in a week. It's 80 degrees, 73 degrees at CBS-FM 7.3 at 101.1. I've got to tell what, I could send here, I could put, you're talking about writing a book, chapters and stuff. I could write a book about Dan Ingram, and I could write a half a book about Joe McCoy. And this is going to keep on going, but Dan, I've got to tell one story that you did over across the street. I don't like to mention the call letters, too much because of ratings, and people might get confused because a lot of us still think we're on WABC.
Well, I got to tell you, you should be getting. I hope they're getting at least a couple grand a spot today because I came in a cab and there were 3 other cabs next to me. Oh, you're on every station, every radio, and every cab in New York.
I love you, cab driving son of a gun.
It's like the beach used to be at Jones Beach. Remember that? You didn't need a radio. You just
really
listened, right? Oh, by the way, I have a riddle for you.
Yes.
What did the hippies say in the snowstorm?
Darn if I know.
Burr, man. We got a guy named Berman on the phone, I believe.
Jeff Berman, you son of a gun. How you doing?
Jeff?
Hello?
Jeff?
Hello, Jeff.
Jeff? It's not Jeff.
No, who is it? Who am I? Oh,
it's Lamont Cranston, the Shadow.
No, not Lamont.
Yes.
The man
evil works in the hearts of men.
Yes, to bear bitter fruit.
Oh, I remember him.
Well,
where are we here? It's George Michael, the singer or the sports guy?
No, it's got to be our friend from St. Louis.
Chairman.
And it's got to be our friend from St. Louis.
George?
Right. And from across the street, ABC. It's got to be George Michael. Hi, George.
Who's this?
It's Ron. Remember me, the one who loves you, Lundy.
No, Ron, I don't remember you being so slow and mature. Hey, let me tell you, folks, the guy that you all are hearing today, Ron Lundy, was originally the wild child of St. Louis.
Stop it. Stop it.
A wild child who drove everybody nuts. And, Ron, even though today I do the sports machine.
I know you do, and we see it every Saturday night.
Plug.
Sunday night, Ron.
No, we see it Saturday night. We see it twice down at the farm, down in Oxford. Hey, they have it on Saturday and Sunday.
What I do, though, I always say, where have I come since the days of Ron Lundy? And I don't know if people realize that you never did play with a full deck.
This is true.
Your elevator never saw the top floor. People say, what do you know about Ron Lundy? I know 2 things.
What?
In 1961, when I was a kid in college, I promoted music, and I came around, and you were very nice to me, and I brought a record by someone unheard of named Bobby Lewis called Tossin' and Turnin' way back in April of 1961.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
I'll play it for you.
Yeah, I didn't know any better.
You didn't have the power, but you went ahead and played it anyway.
I couldn't sleep at all.
Right. And then, unfortunately, folks, this is a true story. The only time I ever got fired, 1964, I'm working 7 days a week, 7 to midnight in St. Louis with Ron Lundy, Dan Ingram, and all those heroes. And I'm awestruck, and they won't give me a day off, and I'm working 7 days a week.
We all did.
Lundy says to me, George, what you need to do is you need to walk in there and tell them, by God, you quit. He said, they'll give you some time off. So I walk in, I say, by God, John Box, I quit. And he said, I'm sorry, good luck. I was permanently off. I was unemployed. And I said, what do I do now, Ron? You've been my mentor all my life. He says, son, you go to the unemployment. 9 weeks of unemployment. And then, of course, Ron, I didn't see Ron Lundy for a lot of years until September the 13th, 1974, when I walked into WABC. And it was like a reunion for me because there was Dan Ingram, who I'd grown up with, and of course, Ron Lundy, my idol. And Ron, the only thing I can tell you is that my greatest memories of you are always when you would take time to help, and most of all, when you took a little jerk by the name of Art Wander, a program director who today is a sportsman in Buffalo, and you said, Wander, I'm going to kill you. And this is a true story, folks. He picked him up, and he put him on a coat rack, and he left him hanging on the coat rack in the hallways of St. Louis.
He used to run around all the time saying, Ron, tight, light, and bright. Yeah, I'm tight, light, and bright you. Yeah, we were doing
George, I just want to tell you, George, you look wonderful. The surgery was successful.
Dan's here. Did you know that? He's sitting right here, George. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you know it or not, but when you came here from FIL down in Philadelphia, Dan Ingram was really politicking to get you into WABC. So
wait a minute. You know how hard he used to play the song by Steely Dan, Ricky, Don't Lose That Number, and say, Sklar, don't lose that Philadelphia number.
I remember that. Yeah. And then you got here and you loved it. And then you went on to television and you got so rich.
You're right. Guys, I tell you what, when I look back, the greatest thing that happened to me was in St. Louis being able to promote records to Ron Lundy and Dan Ingram, because those two names to me are the legends of the industry, and I know you don't want to hear it, but you could have kicked Beyondies, Joey Reynolds, but I mean, none of them could light a torch compared to you. And I you know, here it is, 35 years later, and I'm still grateful for the opportunity to have even been able to work in the same studio as you all, because you guys are what rock and roll was supposed to all be about in great radio.
George, thank you so much. And I tell you, I'm going to still be watching you, and your sports machine on Saturday nights down in Oxford, and then people here in New York can watch it just on Sunday, but I'll get 2 nights, okay?
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Wherever you go in life, you have made millions of New Yorkers happy for years. The memories of the people that have listened to you for years is something that can never be erased. And if you ever feel lonely, just think about all the millions of people you've made smile. Because, believe me, folks, the one who grew up listening and learning from this man, this is one of the greatest talents in the history of radio, and I'm just proud to have been able to say that I ever knew you.
Well, bless your heart. And listen, just what can I say? Just good luck to you, and just keep on doing whatever you're doing, because you're doing it right, okay?
Just play Bobby Lewis tossing and turning, because it sure made me a lot of money, baby.
I couldn't sleep at all.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, baby. Take care of yourself.
All right, y'all.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, well, now, I'll tell you now, that brings back a couple of memories.
Are his clothes a trade-out?
Yes.
He doesn't have control over it, does he?
Now, will you stop being bad to George? Can you believe he said that?
No,
Joe,
Joe,
take control here. Make them stop all this.
Oh, okay.
I've got to tell just one Dan Ingram story, as I was going to do before George. I didn't know George was on the phone. Joe Bob come in and told me, old friend, have to talk to him, but no, now don't. I didn't mean it that way. I did.
We'll see you at the meeting Monday morning.
Oh, stop. I've got to tell one Dan Ingram story. Like I said a few minutes ago, if I ever write a book, I could do book 2 with just Dan. But one story, okay? I used to live up in Rockland County, way up in Rockland County, and I used to, drive back and forth, of course, to the city, twice a day. And I'd
your Chevy Nova.
Yeah, but I never will forget this. I had a red Oldsmobile 98 convertible, and I was just so pleased with myself. And I'm zipping up the West Side Highway and across the George Washington up the Palisades. And Dan Ingram comes on just about 2 miles back before I got on the George Washington Bridge. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen."
Beware, ladies and gentlemen. There is a man in the Heinz-mobile. He looks just like the face of Mr. Heinz from the tomato ketchup bottle. Round, red, and laughing strangely as he does weird things to moth wings. Beware of him. He's loose again.
This is in July or August. I've got the top down. I am red as a beet. People start blowing horns at me and cutting into me and running, and people running into each other on the thing. I'm going across the bridge. They grabbed me at the bridge. The Port Authority police, man, it took me 2 hours to get home that day.
Well, we didn't see you for 3 days.
I know. I
never
want to come back.
Oh. Catch him. He's driving now your way.
Tomato Man.